it is Jocelyn Alyse, that mindset teacher, and today I want to talk about something that is very applicable to my teacher friend or even just my friends that are out here living and having to deal with other human beings, which is everyone, right? We all have to deal with people at some point in time. So if you watch my channel, you already know that I am a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in the Holy Trinity. I believe that Jesus is Lord. I believe that Jesus is the Word made flesh, that he is truly the Son of God. And so in my faith journey, I have started watching this series, and y'all, highly recommend. I recommend this series to literally anybody. But I've been watching this series called Faith University. I watched it straight from YouTube. And it is by Michael Todd from Transformation Church. So using our inferencing skills, right? It's called Faith University, context clues being applied. It's literally just talking about how to walk in forgiveness. And Michael Todd makes this claim that walking in forgiveness is critical to our faith walk. So we cannot say that we believe in God. We cannot say that we are followers of Christ, that we are Christ-like or Christians, and not operate in forgiveness. We have to. It's not a recommendation or a like, oh, as a Christian you should. Like, no, if you are a Christian, you have to forgive others, right? So as he is making this claim and he's talking about walking in forgiveness, he also talks about offense, okay? So when we are offended, when we feel like somebody has done us wrong, somebody has done something that comes against us, somebody has said something or not said something, did something or didn't do something, didn't show up for us in the way that we felt they should, right? And so as he's talking about offense and different things that can offend us, he has this beautiful illustration where he takes these wooden planks. So he takes these wooden planks and he literally digs them up in front of himself, right? So he puts the plank in front of himself, and here, I'll put a little image up here. But he literally, as he's talking about it, he puts the planks in the ground. And eventually, you know, at first he puts a plank here and maybe puts a plank here, and you know, he's still got a little space. He can still come out. He can still operate in love. He can still do, you know, certain things and, you know, whatever. He still has a little freedom. But as the sermon continued, like the planks ended up covering like all around him. And he had like these literal fences all around him. And he said that's what offense does. It literally can encapsulate us. It can imprison us into this space where if we do not let go of things, it can affect like where we can go, the impact that we can have, our ability to be like literally who God has called us to be, who we want to be in our lives. And so dealing with this and really just thinking in depth about how offense can affect us and how our previous experiences and things that we have went through, like how that can affect how we react and respond to people. Because he even had like in the sermon where someone walked up to him or tried to walk up to him, but the fences were all around him. And even as like someone tried to stick their hand through to touch him, to connect with him, the connection was met with adversity because he couldn't get through the fence. And then when he was going through the fence, he cut his hand on the fence. And so that person was hurt from offense that had nothing to do with it. Do y'all? Okay. So my teacher brain, and even just thinking about like my life in general and just connections that I have with people, I was really thinking about how we as teachers, especially not just teachers, but anybody that deals with other people, especially young children, like we can allow our offenses and our pain, our previous experiences to hurt the people around us, to cause unnecessary pain and adversity and conflict. And so as a teacher, we have to really think, because being a teacher is such a big job. It is like so much trust, so much responsibility to really help to raise up the young people that we are trusted with. And sometimes I see, even in myself, I have noticed moments where I felt like, after the fact, not in the moment, but where I felt like after the fact, this situation didn't warrant my response. And so really just thinking about our intention, and thinking about how we deal with our students and where that's coming from. So for example, y'all, I see this question that a lot of teachers get offended by. Why do we have to do that? Can you explain? And I have seen so many teachers operate from offense from this question. Like literally they get mad. They get upset because a kid is questioning. And that's exactly what we inspire them to do, is to question, is to figure out the why so that they can then apply those theories to other things. But when they do that and it's directed towards us, it feels like a challenge. And when we start to get to a place where like student behavior, student actions become personal attacks to us, if we feel like it is a personal attack to us, then we might be operating from offense. We might be thinking like, well, when I was in high school, they challenged me, they disrespected me, they made me feel little, they made me feel small, they made me feel insecure. When I was at that job, they talked to me that way. So what you're not gonna do is walk into my classroom and talk to me like, and we start to feel this offense. We start to put on previous experiences and things that happened in the past. We start to put those things there where the kid is. And so what is the intention behind that? If I have the intention of showing a child or proving to a child or putting a kid in their place, having dominance over someone, that's coming from offense. That's coming from insecurity. That's coming from a place where you have felt small before and now want to try to elevate ourselves. And that's okay, because that's human. But what we should do is try to be aware of these things and seeing what is the intent here. Because when we have conversations with kids, it should always be with the intention of growing. It should always be with the intention of making them better. How can I elevate this child? How can I get them to grow? How can I get them to progress? And that's really where our conversations should come from. And so instead of having that, I have seen teachers where a kid comes in and literally first thing in the morning, yesterday you did this and today we're not going to have that type of day. Today you are going to sit down. You are not going to talk. You are not going to be walking through my room. You are not going to be doing this, this, and this. Do you understand? And that's how they meet the kid at the door. That's a fence. That is literally a fence, a wall that you have built. So even if the kid did come in that day with like a different mindset and saying, you know what, I am going to do this, or, oh man, like feeling bad about what happened and having that remorse, you have just built a wall in between y'all where that kid is going to have a harder time getting through to you and connecting to you. And you're going to have a harder time when you're ready to drop the wall. It's going to be difficult because that residue is still going to be there where you can reach out and try to get to that child. And so really just thinking about how we as educators, as people who are trusted with children, can make sure that we are not walking in unforgiveness and offense, that we are releasing things that are coming against our spirits, coming against who we are really called to be, letting those things go, washing ourselves and renewing our minds so that when we do deal with people, we are truly dealing with them, that we are not hearing our past pain, but we are hearing exactly what is being said. That when we look at children, we know that every behavior, everything that they say is literally stemming from things that are often beyond our control. So I just hope, teacher friend, that you find some freedom in this, that you know that you are loved, you are valued, you are appreciated, and that no matter what happens or what other people do, that you are just called to such a higher placement, right? That you have the ability to let go, to forgive, to walk in freedom, and to model that for your kids, to model that for your students, so they can see someone who is just absolutely operating in love, and they can go out and they can be that love, that kindness, that compassion, that peace for other people. So I love you, teacher friend. I love you, friends, just all of y'all, period. And I will see you next time.